Hey everybody, it's me, it's MichaelB. Guys, let me know how the audio is. It just went super red line when I started, so not off to a good start. I'll tell you about it later. This show almost never happened tonight. Today's been a pretty busy day, and I had a very late dinner to celebrate my father for Father's Day the day after, and I barely made it home in time to get thumbnail done and everything out. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this tonight. So we're going to talk about E3, but not really. We're going to kind of talk about the things that we kind of expected and hoped to happen at E3. I put Arcade1Up in the description, but feel free to mention anything. Like if you thought that you heard a rumor or you heard something about AtGames, if you heard something about Well Played Arcade, if you heard something about IR Arcade that you thought was going to happen and didn't happen, you guys let me know and we can talk about it tonight. But we're probably going to talk about the Arcade1Up stuff too, since I put it in the thumbnail. So, hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. It's about E3, but it's not really about E3. It's about what never happened at E3, and are these things still going to happen, and when are they going to happen, if that makes sense. Anyways, welcome to Chill and Chat with MichaelB. Needs to talk video games. Take Two needs to talk video games. Tron, Qbert, Arcade1Up, Killer Instinct. Man, you would not believe the amount of comments that pretty much came on every single Arcade1Up or any video I did during E3 where everybody said, "Where is Killer Instinct?" People were so upset there was no information on Killer Instinct. It was crazy. And ChronoLink makes a good point that Tronless E3 broke my heart because we all thought it was going to happen. Like, that was, woo, what a disappointment. Yeah, big rumor that Neo Geo games coming to II Arcade through Bash Gaming. That's interesting. I don't know how that works. So Bash, who Old Man Ruckus works with Unico, and then I guess he has some connections through his Unico work that he's going to help through Bash get over to II Arcade. I don't understand how it works. Killer Instinct will probably be shown next year. No shooters, no drivers. Where's Killer Instinct? What Simpsons Trackball and Tron? Yeah, Tron is my holy grail cabinet. A lot of people felt that way, and a lot of people were disappointed we never got Tron this year. So let's talk about all of them. Where do you guys want to start? You tell me. You lead me in the direction. I do want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Like, there's so many great people here. I saw WKRP in Cincinnati here earlier. Jolly Green, Brad O'Connell. I see 8-Bit Brian. Bobby Vu was here earlier. Brick Rod, how's it going, brother? Vic Vicious. Oh, there's so many of you guys. Ritual Dello, Ness Addict, my friend, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Yep, feel bad for the Killer Instinct folks. Tron is the game that nobody played, but everybody wants. Yeah. Mike Dalton says Tron. I think, do you think Killer Instinct will be 2022? All right, so Tron and Killer Instinct have taken Technobilly. What's happening? Thank you so much, Technobilly, for being a member of my channel, man. I really appreciate it. Let's start with Tron. Okay, Steve Victoria, he says start with Tron, so let's talk about it. So Tron never got announced, despite it being one of the most rumored cabinets and rumored for a while. Thank you, Mike Hockerts. I appreciate that. Oh, Zero Hero actually brings up a really, really, really good point. So on Super Game Room Dudes on Friday, if you guys were there, Nostalgia and someone brought up a link in the channel comments that there was an article and review done on Arcade1Up Attack from Mars, and it stated that no patch was coming. At the time, I kind of took it as, hey, Wagner's Tech Talk. At the time, I kind of took it as, wow, I can't believe they would do that. But the thing is, I also kind of knew that they were working on a patch. I can't say how, but I knew. And over the weekend, after a lot of people started posting it, and people were saying we talk out of our butts. And I want to be clear with you guys, like, P-Dubs, Nostalgia, Detroit Love, they're all respected journalists. I'm the only one who talks out of my butt and says things like Simpsons has a 19-inch screen. So don't blame them for talking out of their butts. That's all me. Anyways, I did want to say thank you so much, Brickrod. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat, brother. I did want to say that one of our Arcade1Up's employees actually commented on one of the posts someone put up talking about our show, talking about there's no patch coming for Attack from Mars, and said that's inaccurate. So, guys, please disregard what you heard on our show Friday night. Obviously, this person who did the article reached out to Arcade1Up and either talked to somebody who didn't know what they were talking about, or they didn't have an answer or just gave them a pass-off answer, because from all intents and purposes, there is a patch for Attack from Mars coming out that we know of. So leave it there. I personally still really like my Attack from Mars pinball table, even without the patch. I don't play Whitewater that much. I'm mostly playing Attack from Mars, Medieval Madness, and Tales of Arabian Nights. So there it is. So they were talking out of their butts. No, LJ Cats. That's who said it. I'm the one who talks out of my butts. No, what happened was someone posted a interview or review on our channel that stated that they had contacted Arcade1Up, and what Nostalgia was doing was just reading what was in the article. We never said that was what was happening. We just said, I can't believe that this is true, and we said, we'll wait till we hear. And Arcade1Up responded, and it's not right, so they have a lot to patch on. I don't know what they're going to patch. I think mainly it's going to be the playability of the tables. Ooh, in the email it says there's a patch coming for all three. Now that's really exciting, Zero Hero. I don't know about that. I know specifically there's one for Attack from Mars. Yeah, a full-size pinball machine is pretty big. My friend Mike Dalton, who's here in the conversation, he's got two. He's got, I can't remember your older Williams game. I really like that one. I can't remember the name of it, Mike. But he's also got the Star Wars Episode 1 pinball, which is in the same body as Revenge from Mars. Oh, what a cool pinball cabinet. Yeah, no problem, Bob Oif. I just wanted to make sure everybody was clear on that. So when that article was brought up on our show, we, basically read the article online and talked about it a little bit. But after that, Arcade1Up did respond. There is a patch coming. So that's where we'll start. Now, moving on. So, fix the nudge. That should be at the top of the fix list. I don't know how, like I said in my review, I don't know how you don't add the option for a nudge button too. Where's our Golden Tea News? Still my most played cab. Vision Thing. I ordered a custom 4K 120 FPS full-size virtual pinball. That must have cost you a fortune. Williams Tri-Zone Star Wars Episode 1 and used to have Joker Poker. That's cool. Yeah, Vision Thing. Not Quake. Arcade1Up Universal Pinball Brick Rub, we will come back to that because I wanted to put that in the thumbnail. Moving on, Killer Instinct will be out Black Friday. Okay, so let's do Tron first. So Tron has been in the works for a long time. Glenn has his Tron stick. I don't know if he ever worked with Arcade1Up, but I know Tron has been in the works for a long time. And with this announcement, there was a price point listed for Tron. We obviously got to see a cabinet mock-up that was put out in retailer guides. But I think what happened, this is my opinion, and I'm just talking out of my butt, is they sold it to retailers, and I don't think retailers were as interested in it as they were the other cabinets. And also with everything going on in the world right now with the pandemic, increased costs, shortages for chipsets, shortages for screens, Arcade1Up had to make decisions about the number of cabs they were going to release, because this is a big year. There was a lot of cabinets announced, also leaked. So Arcade1Up had to make strategic decisions on which ones they were going to put out to market. So Tron, for example, maybe wasn't as interesting to the retailers, so they decided to hold off on Tron. That's my opinion. Unfortunately, they decided to hold off on Tron or until it becomes a website exclusive. But I still think it would have been announced at E3 if it was going to be a website exclusive. Thank you so much for the super chat, Wagner's Tech Talk. I really appreciate that. And yes, thank you. Super Game Room Dudes is probably one of the best things I ever agreed to do. It's fun. I've met 3 other people that have become really close friends and just confidants, soulmates, whatever you want to call them. It's a real wholesome, fun experience. Did you guys see the cake that Detroit Loves Kids made for him, the Super Game Room Dudes cake? Like, that even melted my cold black heart. Oh, so cool. If you're my Star Wars Pinball certainly isn't doing that. The other thing about Tron, in order for them to do it, is going to be an expensive cabinet too, because they're going to have to add lights on the inside. Everybody knows that Tron is such a epic cabinet to do, so maybe there's some extras with it that were some extra costs, which kind of made it move to the direction. I'm not sure. I'm holding out for Tron. I can only have 5 cabs, and I'm sitting at 4 now. I was looking forward to the MK cocktail. Dreamcast Kyle, that interests me. Only wholesome little P-Dub starts talking about this is Kong. That is true. Why were you interested in the MK cocktail? Dreamcast Kyle, I'm going to have to talk to you about this. Nice Ritual Dello. Nostalgia's a good guy. Yeah, so that's kind of my take on Tron. What about you guys? Why do you think Tron wasn't announced? Do you agree with me? Do you think it was something else? There's another option that they could be waiting for some kind of tie-in. Like, yeah, Chronolink says it's supposed to have some kind of... It's supposed to have this lighting and image on the top of the cabinet above the screen. So, I don't know. Why does everybody want Tron? Tron's really big vision thing with some people that are classic arcade collectors. Not so much to play. It's just a really, really pretty cabinet. So most of the people that want it for the functional furniture. Want to see that cabinet recreated, just to see it in their arcade. It's hard to explain. Brad O'Connell, we're going to come back to Dragon's Lair. That's another one I want to talk about tonight. That falls into the same territory as Killer Instinct. That's a game that was announced all the way back in CES, but we did not get any update on when it's going to be released. So I'm taking that to mean it probably isn't going to be released this fall, Christmas year. Steve B says 40-year anniversary of Tron next year. That would be a good reason to delay it. I had heard some rumors too about them making Tron 3, an actual Tron 3 movie. So they may be waiting for some kind of tie-in like that. Arcade1Up has gotten really big on doing those kind of tie-ins, so that might be a very good reason. What's my high score in Centipede? It's not very good. I think it's something like 38,000. I got a lot of work to do. Tron is a high collectible going for $3K and the full-size cabinet. Like, I always saw, I watch a lot of John's Arcade. Like, believe it or not, like, I'm a dude that collects Arcade1Ups that's absolutely in love with real arcades. So I watch, like, Arcade Impossible, John's Arcade. I watch a lot of these people building home arcades. And I live on an island, or otherwise I'd probably have a bunch of real arcades in my house. Because I live on the island, it's almost impossible to get stuff here. Everything is either in a collector's hands already or gone off the island, and it's just impossible to get. So Arcade1Up lets me kind of live out the home arcade fantasy in a way. Also, I am not with it when it comes to fixing these, so, you know. Vic Vicious, I am the exact same way. I'm waiting for Robotron. I still think it's going to be a Smash TV cab. That's another one that I was surprised we didn't get some kind of announcement on. The truth of it is, I think we just got less. They went with safe cabinets that they knew retailers would take because of the chip shortages. That's the big reason we didn't get a lot of these. But for Tron, I think it wasn't as popular with retailers as they were hoping. I think that they're waiting now for some kind of tie-in to tie it in with. Yeah, next month's pre-orders, and there was one cab next year. I think it might have been the Pac-Man 40 class of 1981 that was pushed back to August. And I got an interesting question for you. Do you think that the class of 1981 cabinet being pushed back to August was actually a result of them deciding to change the art on the cabinet? Because I think there's a possibility that cabinet was going to be a wood grain Miss Pac-Man 40th anniversary, and they heard wind of what the fans wanted and changed it last minute. So that's the delay. Yeah, 8-Bit Brian brings up a really good point. I mean, Outrun kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, Outrun just showed up. So there's a possibility that not everything has to be done at E3. Not everything has to be done at CES. I mean, you look at Burger Time originally. Burger Time originally was just a random announcement, wasn't it? I think Karate Champ was announced, and then they went back to the drawing board and changed it. I don't remember exactly how that was done. Back then, around that time, my watching of Arcade1Up news and features would have been exclusive to kind of what RGT85 was showing on his channel, because I was a big retro gamer guy. I watched some classic arcade stuff, but like RGT is kind of what turned me interested into the Arcade1Up stuff. Do you not think Narc might possibly be on that cabinet too, Jason? If they did, that Smash TV, Robotron, Total Carnage, couldn't you stick Narc on that too, Jason? Anyways, Dreamcast Kyle, I gotta go back here because you had another comment. Simpsons licensing mess will conclude. They'll get it figured out. They'll get something figured out. Honestly, that bowling game does look fun. Hopefully they can get that figured out. Hopefully they also change the control panel, because I play from the player 2 spot, and those buttons in their placement with the control panel to fit around the trackball do not look comfortable. So, not happy with that. All right, so we'll get to the meat of the potato here. The mystery is how long they need to go with the chips that they want to use. So, back to Killer Instinct. I think what happened with Killer Instinct is they just need more time. I don't know. It seemed like when John D announced it at CES, he kind of put it up there that they weren't as far along with it, because when Ralph and Justin were suggesting changes to the cabinet, he was much more receptive to that than to changes to the other cabinets. So it gave me the impression that maybe Killer Instinct was still a little bit further down the line. So I don't know. Now, if everything remained constant, I know that when Killer Instinct was announced at CES, John D reached out to Twisted Gaming TV. He said, yeah, we're going to send one out to Twisted Chris to test, because we know he's the big Killer Instinct guy. So I got the impression that Twisted Chris was kind of talking to John D about Killer Instinct. And I posted a video about when Killer Instinct was going to be released about 2 months ago. And Twisted Chris responded with third quarter 2021. So from what he was told and from what he was saying to us, the impression was that it was supposed to be third quarter. So June, July, August, somewhere. Is that third quarter? I always get fiscal year and calendar year mixed up. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. July, August, September would be the period where they made all the July pre-orders would be coming out in the winter. So I don't know where Killer Instinct sits. I guess Killer Instinct's going to fall till next year. And I know a lot of people. Emery Arcade, I see the Philly stuff in your videos. It must not be talking to me. Third floor with Jason, yeah. They would be better off to hold off on announcements until the cabs are ready. Your quarters are pending on your company. My third quarter in my company is not the same third quarter for Arcade1Up. Yeah, I guess so, but usually you'd run by either fiscal or calendar year, so whenever your fiscal year end runs. that would be your company. Like I always do fiscal, and my company April till March. I don't think that they're scared of making a twin stick arcade. I just don't think they see it as a big seller. Like Arcade1Up, Ralph and Justin do a great job of this. They're not selling arcade games to arcade fans. They're selling licenses to retailers. That's why we have so many Marvel cabs. That's why we have so many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Street Fighters, because those are recognizable brands that the stores will pick up. It's tough. I suspect a lot available for Christmas, WKRP in Cincinnati says. It's holding them back that they group releases by manufacturers so they can't optimize the controls. Yeah, I don't know. But Dragon's Lair, I think Dragon's Lair, that was a website exclusive, so all bets are off with that. A lot of people were concerned heading into the E3, all the rumors, that nobody was seeing it in any of the promotional material that was being done up. But again, this was being sent out to retailers, and we knew all along Dragon's Lair was probably going to be a website-specific cab. But I will take that back a little bit, because even the website-specific cabs, they would still try to sell that to retailers. So as much as I said that, we know Dragon's Lair is a cabinet that they're going to be selling on their own website. That wouldn't prevent them from selling it. Like, you look at Golden Axe. Golden Axe ended up going out to GameStop very quickly, despite the fact they said it was going to be a website-exclusive cabinet. And, of course, Golden Axe was available here through the brick. So Burger Time, it was exclusive cabinet. It was available everywhere here in Canada, through Walmart, through Best Buy, through the brick. So yes, Attorney Arcade, I was very excited. My wife showed me that today. Michael Keaton as Batman. Never should have stopped being Batman. Emery Arcade, Michael B. Question, what cabinet pinball gets played most at the Genie-cade? It really depends on, if you're talking the Genie-cade and not the multi-Genie-cade, it's my Attack from Mars cabinet, and specifically Attack from Mars. That's my favorite pinball game, so I spend the most time on that. Yeah, I want a Robotron too. So, Dragon's Lair, I don't know, but I think the big thing about Dragon's Lair is, I don't know where they stand with that bring your own screen option. I think that might have thrown everything into whack. That created a big problem with that cabinet that they thought they had a fix for, where giving us the option to bring your own screen. But when that became unacceptable to the masses and everybody kind of rioted, got the pitchforks up and started rioting, maybe they took it back to the drawing board and said, okay, well, we've got to think about another way to do it. And maybe they'll hold off on releasing the Dragon's Lair cab until LCD screens may come back down in price and it becomes economically sensible and viable to do that cabinet for them while meeting their appropriate profit margin. So that's kind of what I think happened to Dragon's Lair. So those were the two cabs at CES that were announced that we never saw again. Space Ace, of course, is dependent on Dragon Lair happening, but it also was dependent on 3,000 signatures coming into Arcade1Up, and I don't know if they got those. Bob Boy, are you saying Marvel versus Capcom? Zero Hero says, I think Smash TV and Blitz will be E3 2022. It's possible. Brickrod, I've answered this a million times. I have no interest in the Turtles in Time cabinet at all. But what's sad is, even though it's the exact same cabinet, if Turtles in Time, the new cabinet, was actually just TMNT skinned the exact same way, with the upgrades for the Wi-Fi, with the upgrades for the online multiplayer, the voice chat, I probably would have got it. It's the art. I want the original TMNT cabinet in my house, not Turtles in Time. It's not the games. It's the art. Why I have that cabinet. Of course, it's the games too, but I would rather keep my original than upgrade to that. Even though there's quality of life upgrades that should make me interested, I will wait until they re-release it with the original Turtles art on it. Giovanni Castaldo, I feel Arcade1Up is running out of titles. I feel that the same games are repeating. That's an interesting one, a really interesting one. And I mentioned it on my special edition Chill and Chat where I talked about the Arcade1Up interview. And the thing is, there's millions of arcade titles. Well, not millions, but there's tons of arcade titles. They're not running out of arcade titles because they can do a bunch of them. What they might be running out of is top-tier arcade titles that retailers would know off the top of their heads. So if they're short on anything, it's those titles. But there's still bunches of them out there. Sports titles like NFL Blitz, that'll do blockbuster business for them. Like, there's a lot of stuff still out there. It's just, is it a lot of stuff that would be interesting to retailers? Like, I've said it a bunch of times. It sucks that we're getting 2 Street Fighters in the same year. 2 Street Fighters I would love to get. And I don't want 2 Street Fighters arcades in my Genie-cade. But that Capcom arcade, already they had a problem with Final Fight. What would you have skinned that Capcom Legacy Edition if you weren't going to skin it Final Fight? Sega Spider-Man is tough to emulate from what I understand. So they might have some challenges there. But then again, they got Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder working pretty well, and that's also tough to emulate. What I might do with Turtles in Time Wi-Fi is I might order it from Walmart, take the PCB and screen, and replace the bezel, stick it in my old Turtles cabinet, return it, and say, something wrong with that. I didn't get a Wi-Fi receiver. I'm not really going to do that, but like that's what I keep thinking about doing. Like doing the P-Dubs. Like, you know what P-Dubs did with his Midway Legacy? He took the PCB out and stuck it in his old Costco MK cabinet. Yeah, so I put another couple up. Another one that I think I have a better answer for is Track and Field. John D mentioned a bunch of times that we were going to get a lot of Konami cabinets this year, and that was the original plan. A bunch. Yeah, LJ Katz makes a good comment too. There's a bunch of other series that are untapped. Soul Calibur, Soul Blade, Tekken, Area 51, they just need a little bit better tech. And they're going to have to move in that direction too, because the people they're dealing with, the retailers, it seems like they're more familiar with the 90s to late 90s arcade stuff, because you got to think of that age range. Who are the people that are managing these retail stores now and their age range? It might be the stuff that we know from the 80s is, way past their prime. Like, they don't remember that, but they might remember the stuff from the late 90s, and that's what can get it in there. I know, I would wait Dreamcast call, because I got a feeling Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to get released once again somewhere down the line with the original art, with those quality of life upgrades again, so we'll see. Beach Buggy Racing and Beach Buggy Racing 2 are awesome. Brad O'Connell says, as a lifelong fan of the Dragon Lore trilogy, now with II Arcade, I have everything I ever wanted in my home arcade. You do. You have the games. But the original shaped cabinet? Okay, so, and going back, I mentioned Track and Field, and we never saw a mock-up cabinet of Track and Field. We just got a price listing. No DG imagery. I have my Vibs board installed, but I just haven't had the time to actually hook a PC up. I was going to hook up my real PC, but it's just too much work to hook it up, then unhook it up to do everything else I'm doing. So I'm actually in the process of trying to save up now to get a second PC for my Legends Pinball. Punch-Out! I Can Only Dream. That's a tough one with the 2 screens. Desert Assault Cabinet. That's an interesting one, Super Leaf. So, Track and Field, I keep getting distracted here. Track and Field, we didn't get a mock-up, but it's a classic arcade cabinet. It kind of struck me as a weird title because, I know what it is because I've watched tons of documentaries on old arcades and stuff like that, and I know it from the NES. But, it's not the most known arcade game, especially with the younger audience, like the 90s arcade bunch. But I'm guessing there would be a ton of people out there. And they said they really, really like the idea of including sports. So we didn't get anything else on Track and Field, but I do have a weird theory that maybe they're waiting to tie it in with something. And what event is coming up this summer? the Olympic Games. And maybe they're waiting for a tie-in where they can tie in track and field with the Olympics. That would fit Arcade1Up's possible portfolio to go mainstream, some kind of tie-in with the Olympics. That'd be interesting. Yeah, and that's the other thing. That they were saying that if they're going to do track and field, in order to do it well, they had to switch to leaf switches and really, really good buttons. Yeah, LJ Cat says, honestly, I couldn't care less about 80s arcades. I'm a 90s player, and I want those games. See, it's funny because the majority of my time was spent in the early 90s. I got a mid-range gaming PC for my Legends Pinball, got FX3 and Zachariah Pinball, bought all the tables, and it truly has been an amazing experience. That's what I'm waiting to do. I just spent a lot of money. I have to pay some of it. I have to pay some of it back, save some money up before I get this. So, thanks, Speed, for being here, by the way. I really appreciate it. I'd love a Chase HQ with red lights. Oh, what's the one? What is it? All Points Bulletin? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Oh, I can't remember. DJ Imagery says that makes a lot of sense with the Olympics. Maybe. But I grew up in the 90s, so like my first arcade experience that I remember was going in to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But, I went back, I was really into Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and I have a lot of 90s and beat 'em up nostalgia, but I just got so hooked on like 80s arcade, retro gaming and watching videos, the videos, Chasing Ghosts, King of Kong, stuff like that I just got so into the idea of the 80s arcade cabinets that I started getting into the games, and that's what I was interested in collecting. And it's funny because more and more I look at my Genie-cade, and it's morphing away from being a 90s Genie-cade to completely a classic 80s Genie-cade. Richard Dello says APB was awesome. Maybe I'm drawing a blank, but other than Class 81, Steve B says, has Arcade1Up been successful with tying in any releases with outside pop culture activities? I don't know. I know their DimMac 30 unit sold out like immediately. People were really excited about that. I think the Supreme Mortal Kombat was kind of a hit. I don't know. I can't tell you. Like, it doesn't appeal to me, and I don't follow it at all. I think their new CEO did a pretty good job of explaining why they did it, because most of the games they're talking about, even the 90s games are for 30 to 40-year-olds, really. I mean, I'm 40, and even I'm saying, like, I spent most of my time in the 90s in the arcade. So, Stringer Films, what's happening, brother? Cheesy B. Our five, I'm so excited because tomorrow, I'm a big burger fan. So tomorrow, I'm going to have Five Guys burgers and fries for the first time in 3 years, because we are getting our very first Five Guys as of tomorrow. I'm taking the day off work. I'm going lining up first thing in the morning after I drop my wife off at work, and I'm having Five Guys tomorrow morning. I can't wait. What big game wasn't pop culture? Yeah, I think, I don't know, like, with the tie-in stuff, like the Pizza Hut stuff, Pizza Hut was one that kind of appealed to me because, but even our Pizza Huts didn't have arcades in them, so, I don't know. It's a tough one. I played Time Traveler, put my hand in the hologram. Yeah, what was it? It was Time Traveler, and there was another one, too. Sorry I'm late. Was wrapping up a last-minute FaceTime. Oh, Stringer Films, thank you so much for being here for the super chat. Was it with John D? How is he? I told you. I meant to get I'm going to have that video ready for next time, Stringer. I meant to record that, and I just got distracted this past week. I told you. So, that's track and field. The other one that a lot of people were talking about, mostly Ralph and Justin, a lot of Justin was talking about it, and I got the impression that they might have the inside track on this, was Time Crisis. So, he's good. Yeah, rub it in. So they talked about Time Crisis. Arcade1Up might be coming out with Time Crisis. And, I was a little bit skeptical because... I didn't know if their hardware would handle it. But there was a lot of rumors about Time Crisis coming out as the next shooting game. And I didn't see it on any of the... he's almost around Lois. I didn't see any of the... I didn't see any of the pricing, any of the leaks. It was just knowing that... What's happening, Pixel Game Squad, brother? I didn't see it in any of the leaks. I didn't see it in any of the stuff. It was just the fact that Ralph and Justin were talking about it. And I knew Ralph and Justin had some inside information. So I thought they might have been teasing, advertising, this is a possible game. So, of course, the other day I watched all your old videos. My old videos, like my NES stuff, brother. Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to get Time Crisis. I have no idea. I don't know if that's a real thing. I don't know how that was. It was in none of the leaks. It was just a fun thought. Like me, gun games, I'm waiting for T2. I just finished talking about how I wanted an 80s arcade, but it's T2. I mean, I'm guns to get T2. That's going to happen. Yeah, but they've got to change those gun games too. If anybody's happy with what's happening, Pitbull. So, Garage Gamer, my old videos. Yeah, Speed. Congratulations to Speed. He was on P-Dub's chat a little while ago. He won a At Games Arcade.net password. And Speed, thank you for coming over and checking me out too. Ricky! That probably sounded horrible. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about it. The problem with Time Crisis is the system would not be able to handle Time Crisis 3. So that'd be Time Crisis 1 and 2 only. Kind of short game. You need more with it. Yeah, Ralph's new YouTube show does look really good. I'm getting a lot of vibes of like John's Arcade and Arcade Impossible from it too. I would love for them to put solenoids in. So, yeah, and the other one I wanted to talk about, of course, was Universal Pinball. And I think, we saw that, 2 years ago now, and not last CES, but the CES before, wasn't it? Or was it E3 before, when the leaked images and boxes were there for the Universal Pinball, and we've all been waiting for it. And I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. I got a very big theory on that. Couple theories. One is Arcade1Up still haven't been able to meet demand of their initial order of the 3 pinballs. So I think they're trying to catch up there. They want to get all their pinball stock out to retail and out into consumers' hands before they even consider making an additional table. That's what I think. I think that's the big holdup. And only after they get... P-Dubs, this is not an E3 live stream. This is what didn't happen at E3 and what's going to happen next. Maybe I didn't advertise that very well. Thanks, brother. Pitbull. Oh, yeah, not any more pins. I know not everybody likes the Arcade1Up pinballs. Like, listen, man, I get it. Believe me, I completely get it. But, I still dig them. I like the art on them, and I've enjoyed them. It's not, as immersive as an experience as the Legends pinball, but it's still fun. It's still an E3 stream. Drop toe hold, P-Dubs. Drop toe hold. But see... And that's the other thing. So, for one, I don't think that they're done with the first wave of their pinballs yet. And they really want to get those produced, out to market, and see how they sell, and see how they do. But there's another problem with Universal, and I never really thought of it before. It's the fact that it's a Universal cabinet. But there's so many different licenses and properties on that how do you really do it? Obviously, you have to brand it Universal, and there's images from all. Maybe you can get away with it that way, but does one become the title game? Like, does the Back to the Future camp say, we want precedence on the machine over Jaws? Does E.T. want precedence? Like, I know they're all owned by one company, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm thinking there's licensing issues. And then, of course, you're also going to stick Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World games on it. Would it become a Jurassic World table? And then what else do you do? Do you do the two Universal Monster games with that to round out the board? Is that enough? I just don't know if they have enough games. And then do they have to put Zen Originals on it? Like, I don't know if they have 10 specific Universal games and how it would work, and then how I am literally talking out of my butt here, but I wonder sometimes if it isn't some kind of licensing hiccup. Like Arcade1Up is going to release Simpsons Cab, which is a Konami game, but they're not going to put Sunset Riders on it. It has to be another Simpsons game. So if they're going to release a Universal Cab that has Jaws on it, is there any lashback from then also having another title on it? Yeah, I saw that voice chat was announced Garage Gamer. It wasn't as much of a surprise to me because I might have had some inside information on the voice chat. And someone mentioned in that when we were talking about the voice chat stuff on Super Game Room Dudes, they were like, oh man, if At Games had voice chat, you'd all be playing it up like it's the best thing in the world. At Games does have voice chat through Arcade1Up. You can do voice chat, so that already exists. Also, for people hoping that Arcade1Up are somehow going to release tables, like pinball tables that are connected, where you can buy more Zen tables, like a multi-cade table, I don't see that happening unless they need to go in a complete different direction with their pinball, unless their pinball was a massive failure. And while a lot of people didn't like it, financially, from what I understand, they can't keep up with the demand. So that tells me that it was successful. So I wouldn't expect a lot of changes coming in the future. Arch Rivals would be cool. It would be, but I don't know if they will get Arch Rivals. Michael B, I knew too. I signed that NDA. Then why'd you ask me, brother? I might have some inside information on that. Oh, G.I. Joe. I love G.I. Joe. You guys watching know I'm a huge G.I. Joe fanatic. So I've been running around. I've been on a bit of a toy binge here lately. I've been picking up a lot of, well, what I can find here in Canada, because the vultures are out there, the resellers going out and buying everything from the stores as soon as they can get them. But I've been trying to get a lot of toys from my youth, specifically like the first... Yeah, P-Dubs, you nailed it right here. Considering they sell out every time a link goes live for Arcade1Up, winner, but are they amazing? Well, I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, brother. I like mine. HSN and GameStop sitting on one up pinball for a minute. Think rush is over. Well, you bring up a good point. We had surplus available originally here in Canada. Well, they do. See, I'm going to explain to you the Motu origin story in a minute. Okay, so first off, we had a surplus of pinballs here in Canada, and what happened was a lot of people, like me, had pre-orders in at a bunch of different places. I had some pre-orders in at Best Buy, but then Best Buy had some kind of weird hiccup about getting them out, so I was like, screw it, I'll just get it from Walmart because they're super reliable. Or some people even bought it from the source and it was more reliable than the pre-orders with Best Buy. So a lot of people canceled their Best Buy pre-orders, and now it's kind of sold out of Walmart. But Best Buy actually has a lot in stock. And if you go to Best Buy here in Canada right now, not only do they still have the Arcade1Up pinballs, they're actually on sale. Now, before you get too excited, the sale is they're just back down to their original price before Arcade1Up hiked them because of the exchange rate in the middle of the summer. So we had a not summer, but we had a mid-year increase on the pinballs where they were originally selling for $7.99 and just all of a sudden went up to $8.49. So now they're on limited sale back for $7.99. So we don't have Target here in Canada anymore. Toys R Us does have Motu Origins, but the problem that we have with Motu Origins is they were impossible to get until the wave that currently came out with She-Ra, Merman, Roboto, and Hordak. So those four toys are everywhere. Hundreds of them. They can't sell them. You can't find a He-Man. You can't find a Skeletor. You can't find a Man-at-Arms, Beastman, anything you would want. But if you're looking for a Hordak, let me tell you, you are in luck. Also, you can find tons of Prince Adam with the Sky Sled, find tons of Battle Cat, but, I mean, it's just the weirdest thing. Weirdest thing. So, one of the big things, I've been trying to collect the G.I. Joe Retro line, and, it was the stupidest thing because they were releasing them one at a time for pre-order and I missed them. So I missed Destro, Scarlet, and Roadblock. But I go to Walmart one day randomly and Duke, Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes, and Lady J were all there. And I also got Cobra helicopter thing. So I picked 4 of those up and now I'm going everywhere to try to find the rest of them, and I can't get them here. I can't get those other 3 G.I. Joe Retro figures. I have some of my original He-Man figures, Stringer. I'll gladly trade you Target if you can give us Toys R Us back. I know. Our Target here in Canada went out of business. Just really, really bad management. Sucked because we were so excited when we got it, and the biggest thing about Target for us was the video game sales. Like, they used to do those crazy video game sales where they just throw all their video games on. I remember when the PlayStation 4 first came out, I remember going there that first year and buying, Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4, I think it was, for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 for, $5 each. Yes, Pete does. It's because you live on an island off the coast of Greenland. Probably. That's probably 100% what it is. But anyways, I'm trying to collect these toys now, and it's so frustrating. I spend so much time. I'm trying to get Ecto-1 now, and I have to go on the Walmart website every day and see the picture over there. It says out of stock, but it doesn't mean it's out of stock. It means that it's going to be stocked at some point, or might have already been stocked, and I can't tell which one. So I go there every day trying to get an Ecto-1 for my daughter. Luckily, randomly, I walk into Walmart this Friday night, I think it was, because my wife was like, can you go and get, doesn't Newfoundland have more sheep than people? No, but I will tell you something interesting in a minute about Newfoundland. Just remind me. Hey, Chris Roberts, what's happening, brother? I got distracted. So I'll tell you the other thing. So when I was born in 1980, here, we live on an island, and eventually this island is probably not going to be around long because you see it a lot, and there's a lot of rural towns here in Newfoundland where we are. We're a big geographical location without a lot of population, and most of our population live in our capital city, pretty much 80%. So you got places like where my mom's from, which is Grand Bank, where pretty much the entire population has moved out of there. No one lives there anymore. They're ghost towns. But our province itself is going to become a ghost town because when I was born, there were 4 kids to every senior citizen. Since then, in the last 40 years, it now ranks at 3 senior citizens to every 1 child. So we're an aging population that's... Walmart story. Thanks, Stringer Films. You got me back on track. So my wife wanted me to go to Walmart, and she was like, we need hairspray. And I was like, I don't want to go to Walmart just for hairspray. But I gave in because my wife is awesome, and I wanted to make her happy. So I went there, and I was like, well, I'll check the toy section while I'm there. Of course, I go to the toy section. They got G.I. Joe back in, which I was excited about. But, of course, it's the same 4 figures I already have, which then sent me on a stretch of going to every other Walmart within driving distance and checking to also be disappointed. But that's aside from the point. I was walking up the toy aisle, and just in the corner of my eye, I look down and I see a purple box, and I was like, oh my god, here it was, the Ghostbusters Ghost Popper, which I had never seen here. And I was like, oh my God, it's just here. So I picked it up and grabbed it and held on to it like I just found the Holy Grail. And I'm walking around. Everybody thinks I'm insane. I walk around the corner and I see that it's not even with the toys. It's put over by the Legos for some reason. And there's 3 more of them. So I was like, oh my God, they have tons of them here. That's crazy. So I go up and check the price. It's only $15. And I was like, well, I'm going to get 2 of them because, you know, my daughter's obviously going to break this. I gave her a bunch of my children's Ghostbuster toys. Like, she has the PKE meter, and she also has this other, like, projector kind of like ghost gun. Yeah, they're both broken now. So I was like, I'll get 2 since they're only $15. So I went back and grabbed the other one, and I left the other 2 because I'm not nuts. So I then went, and I went to the other stores to look for the G.I. Joe figures that I couldn't find and see if they had any other Motu figures that came in. And when I went from store to store, no other store had the Ghost Popper. It was just like an abnormality that I was there at the right place, right time in order to get this, because the scalpers never got there before me. On an elephant robot guy named Mossman. Stringer Films, you still have it. Yeah, I got it downstairs. I don't know what my daughter's got done to it. It doesn't work anymore. And she tore the sticker off the front of the PKE meter, which I love my Frogger cabinet. I don't care that the music's wrong. I don't care that the cabinet art's wrong. I don't care that it's got that stupid screen filter on it. Frogger's all right by me. Tell them the dollhouse story. I have 3 Walmarts within driving distance to me. I'm very lucky. We used to have 4, but the 4th one only shut down like 2 weeks ago. So I got to tell you the dollhouse story. So P-Dubs sent me a message. P-Dubs, who's awesome, by the way. P-Dubs went to Walmart and picked up the 4 original Ghostbusters for me because they don't exist in Canada, apparently. So they're in the mail. I'm very excited. My daughter doesn't know, so we're going to get those. But while he's out at another Walmart, he found... what was it? I got version 2 of her coming in the mail now. Evil Lynn. He found the original Evil Lynn. And I was like, oh my God, you found the Evil Lynn. And he was like, yep. And we were going back and forth. And I was like, hey, did you pick up Castle Grayskull? I got one coming. I'm really excited. And he was like, no, bro. That's a dollhouse. I don't need a dollhouse for my toys. So I felt a little ashamed. And then, when I got it, it finally came in the mail, which I was really excited about. I took a picture of the box and sent it back to P-Dubs and said, dollhouse. I think what really threw people off with Frogger is the fact that they were selling it. It wasn't that it was just like so wrong, but they were also selling it at such a high price because it had that light-up deck protector, plus it came with a stool. So it was $500 right off the hop, and that seemed like a lot for a cabinet that they made so many mistakes with. And, I mean, we can go back and forth on Frogger. But, I mean, it is what it is. I play with dolls. No, I haven't opened my Castle Grayskull yet. I'm waiting because I want to do that with my daughter. So we're waiting now. I got my Prince Adam with Sky Sled finally came in the mail on Friday. And I was like, oh, great. So me and Skylar can do our second because we got a bunch more of He-Man toys. We're going to open up and do real review last time. Last time we just opened them up and it was a terrible video, but we're going to do better next time. And we also want to do a separate one on Castle Grayskull, but then I've got this Evil Lynn coming too, so I want to wait for that now. No, it's not the only dollhouse. I mean, if this retro G.I. Joe thing keeps going and they release the, I forget what it's called, the Cobra Terradrome. If I can get a Cobra Terradrome, I'm buying that. Or, the SS Flag. I'll get many dollhouses. I'm going to be a broke man. Frogger still plays the same. There's no issues with the way Frogger plays. None at all. Well, technically, I bought it at $4.99 Canadian. I got it on sale. I waited. And there was one here locally, and I was talking to the people at the Brick, and I said, shouldn't this be on clearance? And they were like, yeah, it should. And sure enough, it got dropped to $4.99 Canadian, which is the equivalent of about $2.99. Something like that. See Mike's Malibu Beach House. See, the funny thing is, P-Dubs, I actually do have that stuff because my daughter has that stuff. BBTS to Mike as well. BBTS. What is BBTS? That's the toy store you told me about. And I've gone there and I've looked at their stuff, but everything seems to be sold out. So I can't find any of the stuff I was looking for anyways. I went there, I got my eye on it, but I'm still looking. Big Bad Toy Store. Yeah, I've been going there and scoping it out, but I mean, I still get there and I'm like, oh, cool, I can pick up the whole Motu set. But then it says sold out, so. Yeah, the land shark. Yeah. Sorry, Adam. Like, I'm trying, brother. Anyways, guys, so that's pretty much, like, all the Arcade1Up stuff. I don't think Silver Strike... I don't know. I haven't looked for it. That's pretty much it. I mean, E3 is now over. This stuff never got announced. And we're kind of waiting on the next steps from Arcade1Up. From all intents and purposes, I mean, it looks like what's been announced at E3 with definitive dates might be all we get this year, but who knows? There might be some surprises that are tied in with some outside events, and it depends on how the global economy goes. I mean, if there's chips become more available, screens become more available, maybe this stuff will pop up. Yes, P-Dubs, E3 is over now. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I have nothing else to say. We can just enjoy arcades, enjoy each other's company, and just move on from what was E3. I haven't watched the Snake Eyes trailer yet. I'm really scared. The G.I. Joe movies have not been kind. And, I mean, I even like the first one better than the second one. Oh my god, I'm so nervous about this. I just don't understand how you can't make a stupid, silly G.I. Joe movie. It should be so easy. Oh, I mean, how can Larry Hama, in a rush, turn out such amazing comic book strips, like artwork, storylines for G.I. Joe, just pushes these comics out to sell these toys in the matter of, like, weeks. And, I mean, like, movie producer can't make a sensible movie. No, they have not been good. They have not been good to Mike. And I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. Mike Hurts. That's not very PG. Forget the cartoons. They need to go read, like, the first 50 comic books. Like, that's one of my most prized possessions. I have these, it's not like an omnibus, but it's like these collections, and it's like 10 comic books from each one. And I have the first, I think it's like 70 G.I. Joe comic books just in this book. And you go back and read them, and the differences in the story, how it's more real life. Like, Cobra Commander isn't some snake from Cobra Law. He's just like basically used car salesman that does a bunch of pyramid Ponzi schemes to raise his fortune to run this terrorist organization. So much better. It's amazing. Like, they just basically need to say, how do we pay Larry Hama? I don't even know if Larry Hama's still alive. I think he is. But how do we pay Larry Hama? The He-Man cartoon won't be about He-Man? What? I guarantee another thing, Pac-Man. Yeah, that's pretty safe to say. We still might get that Miss Pac-Man 40th anniversary yet. Number 55 is the best issue. Which one is that? Thank you very much, Trey. Unmasked. Huh. A lot of people think it's the introduction of Storm Shadow, but 55 Unmasked, I'll have to go back. Marvel G.I. Joe Comics was great, and another guilty pleasure of mine, I know I'm out of time, but if you ever get a chance, there was a Marvel WCW Comics from back in the day. Please, dear God, if you're a wrestling fan, go back and read it. It's from my favorite of wrestling with the Dangerous Alliance in WCW, you got to go back and check out the WCW Marvel comic. It's incredible. Why'd you have to say that, Don? You ruined my whole night now. Apparently it's about Teela and not He-Man, hence He-Man not being in the title. What? Anyways, guys, I could keep you here all night. E3's over. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had as much fun talking about this foolishness as I do, coming up with these crazy, harebrained ideas of why these things aren't happening, and just talking about this hobby we love so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. For anybody here that's a father, hope you had a great Father's Day weekend. If you're a single mother, hope that you had a great Father's Day weekend too. Anyways, this is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.